Painting was going.
Mouse City Osu.
Manchester City.
Yeah, it's live. Okay, perfect. Oh yeah, I should probably
Oh, we
also have
live.
the. Pretty much. I should probably also look at the chat every once in a while. That would be helpful.
They might have a question.
Yeah.
Scheiße. Scheiße, Alter, man.
Okay.
Incredible.
Before we start talking, I want to ping this one Discord server or like hit them up.
Cuck Discord server. Fuck them. Lick my balls.
Hi yo.
Yeah,
If
I don't know if you want to like
anybody
introduce me to
has.
the stream or something.
Yeah, we're doing that in a bit.
Sounds good.
Let me finish this up real quick. If anybody has questions.
This is exciting. My first interview. Oh my god.
Okay. Anyone, Cream, can you... Actually, I don't know whether we want to ping the server. I'm just sending it in general, I guess.
No, fuck everyone.
Of course you do.
Okay. Then... I think we're ready to go. Is my Discord muted? Okay, my Discord is muted. Perfect. Okay. Hello everyone. We are doing an interview with showerpiss regarding some mouse-only questions we've got. And yeah, might we just start by showerpiss, Mr. Piss, introducing yourself, introducing himself.
Hello, everybody. 19-year-old male, single. Like long walks on the beach and clicking circles with the mouse.
Incredible.
Okay, the first question that was really interesting to me: how did he come up with the name? What's your origin story for choosing the name showerpiss?
So that came from I don't know if you know the game Realm of the Mad God. In that, I named myself Bath Shit.
Oh no.
Actually,
Oh
no,
no.
it was Bath Water. And
Okay.
so I wanted to find some synonyms for that because that just sounded so funny to me. And I wanted to keep naming myself like that, so I came up with shower and piss.
So if you were to add a third name, in case you ever need a third name, what would that be?
Uh,
Do we even want to know?
I know there's two contenders. There's both bath shit and cum chalice available.
What?
Oh no.
Excuse me?
Good morning, Zeizaksu. Okay,
Morning,
thank you for introducing yourself. Actually, let me pull up your profile in the background, just so people know.
The fucking massive headed infant. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, four-digit Australian mouse-only player, goat at the game, goat at streams, goat at tourneys. He's good at games. He's good at this game.
So
Playing a lot.
the big thing that I was most curious about when starting these interviews is like, why did you start playing mouse only?
Well, from the start, I just that way. Like for the first like few hours of playtime, I didn't even know you could use keyboard.
The natural
then-
play style.
The way
Yeah,
Fishy Fat
honestly.
intended.
That's how Peppy intended, fishy fat, like everyone. And I mean, not only that, but it did feel more natural even after noticing that it existed.
So,
So-
do you have you considered switching to keyboard at any point?
Oh, considered, not seriously. Like I've thought about what would happen, but I never wanted to switch.
So like a big part of that is like, in my personal opinion, mouse only is like a strictly inferior playstyle in like every way to keyboard. And like,
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
okay, so do you feel it's holding you back at like from like reaching what you want to do? Because
Uh,
you're like a bit of a competitive person yourself.
Quite competitive. As now is when you roll the fucking clips of me raging.
Oh boy,
But
yeah.
uh, I don't think it stopped me from ever doing what I wanted to, but it definitely makes it a lot harder to get there.
What do you think of like other people using keyboard? Like, what do you think of keyboard as a playstyle
Oh,
in general?
I mean, if that's how you enjoy the game, sure. Like, ain't that big of a deal. But like, there's just what do I think about the people? Um, I mean,
Oh no.
They're weak. They're using both hands.
For using both hands, they're weak.
honestly,
So you're just playing mouse only since you ever always have been and never bothered enough to switch, and it's not been fun to switch. So like it's just your natural
yeah,
playstyle at this point. But you don't
and
think
keyboard
that,
players are fine, but I
yeah.
like if you're doing the same plays with mouse only as keyboard, I would say the mouse only player is like cooler, just because it is much harder to get there.
Have you ever thought that like maybe there is no skill cap in mouse only inherently, and it's just we have a much smaller player base, and so we're not exposed to the kind of players like Emmerich appearing because they just there's just a smaller pool of people.
I personally think that there isn't currently anything that I feel mouse only couldn't do ever that people are doing right now.
Like you think
Like,
1500 mouse only is possible.
I mean, if someone's crazy enough to do it, probably. But I mean, is the game going to last long enough for that to be able to happen? Who knows?
So you don't think mouse only is such a huge handicap that it would prevent you from doing some kind of insane play like that?
No, I just think the tablet and mouse and keyboard players have gotten. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know if it's feasible to do what they're doing, like within a reasonable amount of time. For them, it is.
Do,
But
do you think
yeah,
this handicap from us only is really apparent on certain skill sets? So I think most people would agree that aim and mouse only doesn't do much a huge big difference, but especially on streams, it can be harder. What's your state on that?
on streams, did you say?
No, like do you think the
Oh yeah.
handicap is worse on certain skill sets, like finger control, streams, or whatever?
Specifically stamina and streams, which like I guess you could extend to speed. Like stamina is probably the most affected because there's just like a whole extra level of like understanding you have to have of your play style, I feel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Suzoku brought up a interesting thing in the chat. So like there have been a few cheating shenanigans in like the
Uh
mouse only circle of people. Like with Fia, you
mm,
yourself accused Tony of cheating. Um along with who was it? Galleon, and it was mostly you, I think. But
Galleon and me, yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
But
not saying that other people didn't agree, but like we
and then like
gave enough of a shit to do something.
there's the aspect of like you could be saying you're playing mouse only, and then you just use a keyboard and rebind your keyboard to mouse clicks, so it shows up as mouse only on the client. So
Yeah,
do you think that's
having
like a huge issue with like verifying whether or not somebody's mouse only?
when they start getting really good, it is, but like more than anything, it's much easier to like verify than like to tell if they're actually legit or not. Like recently, this new Toki guy was found, and he's got well, supposedly the best stamina and probably streams on mouse only, and like the majority of mouse only players who checked his plays could kind of just tell from his movements that he wasn't mouse only. Or, well, not really confirmed yet, since there's no live plays or anything, but none of us really think he's mouse only. So, legitimacy, yeah, that's still an issue, but telling if someone's mouse only is fine, usually.
So if you think about it, like mouse only people playing what most people would consider like strictly inferior of a play style, do you think that like makes it so that the pool of players who play mouse only are more disinclined to cheat because they're less of a competitive person to the point where they're just giving up on the best play style to just be quirky mouse only uwu gamer?
Not at all. In fact, there's this one quote from actually no, that quote doesn't work here. Never mind. But no, the most competitive people. Oh, no. Shit. The fact that the community is quite small makes it a lot easier to get away with something like that. So honest, and you would get quite a lot of praise, which I feel is what cheaters look for, like realistically.
Like, yeah, reputation
So
within a community.
you know, in a way, it's like if you weren't good at cheating, I don't know if that's really a sentence, but if you're not good at cheating, you could go to like a small community and be a cringe lord there easily.
Do you think
So,
we should like have more scrutiny on players in general of like because we are a small community and there's that kind of incentive. Do you think we should be more or less vigilant or anything about cheaters?
um, not towards like the mid end because I there's only very few players that are even worth worrying about cheating, if whether they're cheating or not, like to our competitive like environment, like the high ranks and well, I mean, like that Toki guy, for example, because he was considered probably well, he would have been considered the best stamina player. Like everyone was checking out his stuff, so yeah, at the top there could be a lot more. Um, what is it? Scrutiny.
I see. So you're saying that it's different at the top and everyone else is trash and should just kill themselves in a pit. They don't matter. Incredible.
Uh,
Wise words from
yeah.
showerpiss. All right, let's move on to another but
Wait, I actually have something to add to that. I also think since this community is kind of hard to get into, like why would anybody act like they're a mouse only player if they don't even know a mouse only community exists. It's kind of hard to get into our community, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So they can't just join a mouse only server and say, "Hey, I'm playing mouse only," and then FC a 200 BPM
Yeah.
death stream map.
There is already a little bit of scrutiny to begin with on getting into. So, for those that are unaware, there's a mouse only Discord server where you, at the minimum, have to be somewhat verified as mouse only to get in. It's like a mid six digit
a secret
rank
society.
500k. Yeah, and you have to get like an invite from someone on the inside. And like, I guess that does already help quite a bit, but there isn't too much we can do about someone just remapping their keys.
Like I myself will, if nobody does it before me, I'll like go and stalk anybody news profile and just download their replays and check if they look like mouse only, check if they're clicking the right buttons, that kind of thing.
Yeah, with very few exceptions, like we did r/place in 2022, and we let some they were called diplomats in. So we let them in. But other than that, there isn't really anyone that's not mouse only to be allowed in. I mean, we probably wouldn't say no to like Cookies Eat, but
I mean, Kokizi played
Yeah.
mouse only, and he
Yeah,
still
he's
can
pretty
play mouse
good with
only.
it.
He just
But yeah,
doesn't do it much. Okay, but I think we're gonna move on. What question did you have in mind, Cream Power?
Just moving down the list.
Yeah, okay. So one question on mouse switches. Do you feel like mouse switches are suited for the PlayStation mouse only, or do you wish there would be a mouse with, let's say, mechanical switches or something? Because there are
uh,
these wild pictures of mechanical switch mice floating around.
it'd definitely be very interesting. I think it could very much work on specifically what we do, but it wouldn't be useful for anything else. Like you wouldn't use that for your normal browsing. I mean, you could, I
You
guess.
could confuse some boomers with it. Like, why does my
Yeah.
click not work?
Something in the middle of that, like if we could have like customizable mouse switches somehow, that'd be pretty cool. Like
So you would
linear
still
or snappy ones, that'd be cool.
you would still increase the travel distance to some degree if you could, or at least try it out.
I mean, it'd be pretty cool if we could just have wooting like mouse buttons and just insta click. Like, shit, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, okay, fair. Oh, what do I have written down apart from that?
So like right above that. Wait.
There was someone that was making a. They were. It was actually you, Cream Power. You were
Yes.
3D printing a mouse or something.
Yeah, my 3D printer's in pieces, so the project's on indefinite hold until I get a desk and put my 3D printer together.
So yeah, Creamy was trying to put a wooting keypad onto a mouse, literally, but
Would
no
be
luck
interesting.
so far.
The wooting mouse being real.
It definitely could work, I think, for Osu.
I think since we are still on the topic on mouse, there've been these questions: lighter or heavier, or wireless versus wired. What's your take on it? Starting with wireless or wired, maybe, or do you not have a preference on that?
Wired. I've used mostly only wireless, and the only. No, did I say wired or wireless?
You said
Wireless.
wireless.
I've mostly ever used a wired mouse. And having used wireless only recently, oh, it's so much nicer not having that damn cord just moving along your table all the time. It doesn't it probably doesn't increase your skill like any more than 0.4%. Very specific, but like, it's negligible, but it's also very nice. It's like having one of those attachments on your chair that doesn't let it slip down.
From my experience, it almost never bothers me, but then like when it gets in the way, uh it suddenly like breaks your flow state.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had an experience with desk space. Usually the part of the desk where I had my wire is now a part of my desk where I just put water and stuff. So it's very nice having this additional place, especially if you have a smaller desk or a desk that's not so wide. It can be very
So do
helpful.
you have a wireless mouse now?
Yes, I use the Razer Basilisk V3 Pro mouthful. But yeah, I've started using this mouse and I've not looked back. I definitely could imagine using other mice that are wired still, but I would definitely use this for everything other than Osu if the other mouse was wired. It's just quality of life
So to
and
sum up,
qualified.
you would probably say that you wouldn't what's the word? Like if somebody were to ask you whether they should a wireless mouse or not, you shouldn't you what actually we are doing an interview. I'm phrasing this differently. If somebody were to ask you whether they should get a wireless or a wired mouse, what would you respond with?
uh, Depends on their reasoning. Wireless for literally almost everything, but say the wired mouse has a shape they really, really like, then I would say they should get that, or like another mouse that just is the same shape but wireless. Like, shape is a much bigger impact than the wire, but it's really nice to not have it.
I see, I see. And for the weight of the mouse, did you have any experience with differently weighted mice in the past?
I've used from, I believe, 87 grams to 130 grams. I actually I got to the highest ranked mouse only player with like this really shit office mouse, the Logitech G400S. At least today standards, it's a um, office mouse. I believe that's like, let me see the weight actually. I think it's like, yeah, one. I don't know why it says 290 grams. I'm fairly certain it wasn't.
Maybe that's if you add all the weights. Some of the mice usually actually, if it was an office mouse, it probably didn't have additional weights. But there's some mice that
Yeah,
you
I mean,
can add weights into.
at minimum, it was 130 grams. So I will say, after having used a lighter mouse, that it's nicer for your arm, but I wouldn't say you're getting skill capped by it.
Yeah. Also, we can see Kimei, the current number one player. They are number one with a mouse that's like also 130 grams. So maybe
Really?
it's the
Oh,
opposite. Yeah, and they're doing I don't know what like 320 BPM jumps on it. I don't know
yeah. I
how.
mean, if you're worried about weightage, just increase your sense. Like, you won't take that long to get used to, and I don't know, you're a weight fanatic, so just increase your sense.
Okay, I think that's everything we've got on mouse as a peripheral, which is fine because I don't think it's that interesting personally. Cream Power, would you like to choose the next question? Or should we go into the topic of streams?
Yeah, streams are
Case
good.
number 15.
Streams are what I was thinking to go with next. Like
Tell us your secrets.
like so showerpiss, like you're what kind of player would you define yourself as? If someone asks you what kind of Osu player are you?
Uh, Definitely more towards all rounding than a specific skill set, but I am notably good at streams.
So, how do you stream exactly? Like, what kind of technique do you have?
Uh, Very similar to what Nodoff, the current best speed player, uses, where you don't lift off your fingers off of the mouse buttons. It's called he coined it the no lift technique. But it,
This might actually be a good point in the thingy to pull up the
yeah,
the picture of your grip.
technique wise,
I'd
I
call that
arch my
a,
fingers on my mouse a lot more than others. I will say.
like, it
I'm a
looks
lot
like just
more.
a claw grip to me. It's not quite like hiked up a whole lot, but it's pretty close to a claw grip.
But yeah, and not many people really use that. I will say.
You'd be surprised when you see like other pictures. Oh, I only have Young
Ah.
Venus. He has a pretty similar grip, but it's way farther back on the mouse.
Yeah, but I
So,
mean, he's a jump player as well.
Yeah.
for me personally, it's taken like a lot of effort to gain any kind of skill at streams. I remember when I first started, streams were like 5 note burst. I just didn't hit it, just died. That map is unplayable. Oh no, there's a 5 note burst in it. I guess I can't play that map. But like it takes a lot of time and effort to eventually get streams even into your skills, and then from there get good at it is another entire mountain. How was that journey for you?
Oh man, my journey with streams. What is it? End of June 2024.
Yes,
I
sir.
started this about the start of 2022, so about 2.5 years now. I've mainly been practicing streams. Like there isn't really anything else I've tried to get good at. And the amount of times I've gone from really good to just, well, for me, utter dog shit is like 3 or 4 times. It's such a roller coaster. And I could probably put that down to like lack of knowledge, which like I've honestly been studying how to fucking click on mouse only, like to understand it, to maybe teach others about it. And sometimes my advice has helped people quite a lot, but it's a slow grind. I will say that.
So like, do you have any advice for people trying to figure out how to stream on mouse only or something?
Well, the best I
Or
can tell you is to not. Yeah.
just Osu in general?
Uh, well, honestly, yeah, this works for us in general. Don't get caught up in your own head. Don't like think that you only have one issue that you need to work on, because it's never just one issue. Um, if you can't hit that one stream or jump pattern, it's not because you misread it or uh,
Misaimed
misaimed
or
one
mistapped.
circle. Yeah, it's a complete combination of everything, and it just requires more and more practice. Like the hardest thing for me to have learned is to be all right with my failures. Um, and I noticed that when I'm completely indifferent to missing or like choking at the end of a play, is when I play the best. So I and also click lightly if you're mouse only, but that's probably the same for keyboard players as well.
I have a question on your grip. Since your fingers are so far in the front, is it an active decision you made, placing them that far in the front, at the front, or is it just something you
Um,
started playing with and kept playing with?
I will say that's not how my grip has been the entire time I've played. I've probably, I mean, over the last, I mean, since I started doing streams, I've had not had to, but I've done so many grip and technique changes that it's hard to count. Like once I had them like close to straight and like hanging over the mouse buttons, if you can imagine that.
Yeah.
So right now, that's helping me with stamina and speed quite a lot, which is just it feels good for. Is that even the question that you were asking? I don't know,
Uh,
but
yeah, basically. Was asking
yeah,
whether this was an active decision and whether you think that this is in any way better than having your fingers in the back or like behind the mouse wheel, for example, or like even farther on the front. Since the buttons
uh,
feel lighter on the front end because you just have what's the word in
Greater
English?
lever
Yeah, a
mechanical
greater lever.
advantage.
yeah. Basically, like I've never made a decision to change my grip that like it's always been an active decision, and that was mainly to well, this is how everyone streams on keyboard, and stamina has uh, objectively gotten quite a lot better for me. So we'll have to see how my stream aim gets. That still needs a lot more working on to get back to my peak, but yeah, it was an
So
active
if I'm
decision.
if I'm understanding you correctly, you think this is probably what helped you, but you're not sure whether it's just playing more. But you are pretty certain that this helped.
I've only started doing this in like the last half a year. Um, I've been good with many different techniques. Um, keeping your clicking fingers like there's fundamentals that will help you get to be like one of the best uh, without any techniques needed. Um, but there's refinement of your own technique that needs to happen. Um, and I don't think that right now I can say that that technique is any better than anyone else's.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a nice answer. Um, on the topic of streams, we focused a bit more on the clicking aspect on it. Do you have
Mhm.
anything to state on the aiming aspect on it? I believe you do the weird thing where you lift. Wait, I have it here. Wrist lifted, arch fingers, kind of fingertip. Wrist lifted.
Dude,
So
uh,
what's the anchor point of your arm that's connected to the desk when you're streaming?
um, my elbow and just in front of it. I used to play with basically just my wrist on my table, but I wasn't doing streams at that point. Um, this in general is just more comfortable for like it's more ergonomic. So
So is your elbow like floating?
no, like basically where like the knob of your elbow is, it's just in front of that is on my desk, and that's where I
So
like
like
lean on.
So you
the
just have a
upper
lot of your
forearm.
arm.
Yeah, like basically all of my forearm.
Incredible. So what has your journey been like with stamina? Have you like noticed any significant changes or improvement or like anything that you thought helped you improve your stamina?
Again, lots and lots of up and downs. Not so many as streams in general, but taking taking breaks has definitely impacted it negatively quite a bit. Um, I will say don't go overboard. Like if you can only stream 180 for like I don't know 20 notes, you shouldn't be doing 200. At least that's how I see it. Like if you can't get like a decent B rank on a stream map, probably shouldn't be playing it for practice.
Oh, really? So you're advising against playing a map, passing it barely with 60% accuracy D rank? So you think you should?
Yeah, that's really quite. I mean, there's certain points where like you can just do that for fun, but if you try to do 250 BPM like death stream maps, you're just going to hurt yourself.
So you think it's
Like,
probably
well, most people will.
a good way to benchmark, but not a good way to actually improve at the skill?
Yeah, I would say so. You can like you shouldn't be practicing 180 by trying to do the deceit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And at a certain point, speed and streams become quite different skill sets.
Oh, since one
With some
aspect is
similarities,
much
but
more flowy and the
yeah.
other is much more focused on the tapping aspect. So you
Yeah.
would say that speed is mostly focused on tapping and streaming is mostly focused on aiming, but also streaming while doing that.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, since we're on the topic, still on the topic of streams, would your advice on bursts differ to the advice you would give on streams? Especially on mouse only, I have felt that I have my wrist anchored on my table, but sometimes when I go into long streams, I lift it just like you do and then aim with more of my arm. But for bursts, I don't do that, and for me, that's like a cutoff point. Do you think the advice that you give for is the advice that you would give for bursts any different to the advice you give for streams?
Ooh. For improvement or for playing them?
Yeah, I would say for both. So like, do you improve at bursts the same way as you improve at streams, or is it any different? And the other thing is, do you play bursts differently than streams, or is it basically the same method behind it?
You should strive to play bursts the same as streams because then you'll get better at streaming that BPM. Because usually, if you have trouble with a burst, or like if you're having trouble with a burst, you can't do the BPM, so it's like higher than what your normal streams are. You know, like DT maps or whatever compared to the honesty.
Yeah. So you're like more spamming the bursts instead of actually mindfully clicking them.
You should always be damn. You should always be striving to do them as close to your stream technique as possible.
Interesting take.
So there's a question here about like how you approach the game. Like so it's a game and like a lot of there's the famous Cookiesy quote, please enjoy game.
It wasn't Cookiesy, I think. It was Ruruchi? Anyway.
Ruruchi?
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Same thing.
I remember there's like a screenshot of him just saying please enjoy game, and it's interesting. So maybe it's Cookiesy quoting Ryuchi that I'm hearing. But like how do you approach the game when like you sit down and you're like, ooh look, it's Osu. Do you sit down and just have fun with it, or do you play it specifically with a goal when you start playing?
I very much wish it was that simple. No, enjoyment has left me long ago for this game. I fucking hate it. No.
Just there for the tournament money.
Yes, I'm making millions. When I started playing the game, it was very much for enjoyment. I really liked the just the gameplay of it. Now I find enjoyment in improving more than just clicking circles. Sometimes there's like songs that are, you like, and that can be enjoying. Yeah, but for me, I strive to enjoy the game by getting better, which in itself is a competitive thing,
It
which
reminds
sometimes
me of
doesn't go well, so I don't enjoy. So
like MMOs where it's an enormous amount of grinding and labor, and then the payoff is just like seeing at the end what you've accomplished.
yeah, I personally don't usually go for the big, well-known scores quite often. I don't. There's no real reason behind that. I'm just mostly trying to improve, not set scores most of the time.
I know a lot of your personal journey has been to like pass every single 7-star map, and so you've played a
Uh,
wide variety of maps, and it's just kind of an interesting goal to have.
Not
Do
quite sure that's helped me improve. I will say that.
do you have
Um,
any like specific motivation behind that kind of a goal?
I got so incredibly tired of farming because um, I believe when I started that, actually, I know I have I started it on my
I think you were
profile. Let me check that.
literally rank 1 at the time in
Yeah,
mouse
that probably
only.
would have been it. I probably just was tired of farming because I was already rank 1. Let me see. Started. No, that was mid 2021. I only got number 1 in October, I believe. So
I see.
I guess I really like seeing my like because I always sort by difficulty in the game, so it's nice to see like ranks on every map. That's kind of what I like. There was a completionist type of thing to it, I suppose, but also I thought it would help me improve at a lot of different skill sets. Which I will say I don't think I what's it called? Recommend. I think specifying in each different skill set at different times is much better because you really get that skill set down. It's
Kind of like a
it's
jack of
much
all
more
trades,
lucrative.
master of none thing.
Yeah. Um like if you want to get good at everything, specify first and then specify on the next thing and you'll keep the skills and keep growing instead of pressing F2 and
So
random every map.
so are there some skill sets you wish you could improve at a little more?
Hidden.
Oh, literally all of them. I wish I was insane at all of them, but
Like any in specific?
um, well,
S- So
if I were
if
to
you're
choose one to get good at right now, it would just be streams.
I see.
I'm currently working on speed, but I just want to get back to where my streams were, um, because like it was really nice to be there.
Streams are a bit fickle in their capricious
Yeah,
bestowment of skill.
and
So,
now they're gonna get nerfed in the next PP rework. So fuck
Oh
me, I
no.
guess.
so
Does
going.
Fun fact, yeah.
You guys talk first.
does the
Uh,
do PP reworks like cause you any kind of anxiety like when you see that kind of thing happen? Do you like factor it into what you want to do when you see that there's like
uh,
some skill set getting nerfed?
it might seem that way, maybe on some subconscious level, but only because every single rework that's ever come out, I've lost PP on somehow. Even though I think this one I gained 10, but everyone gains an insane amount, or
Yeah,
like
Peppy
loads
just
more.
hates you. It's
So
quite obvious.
you've
It's a
lost
bit of a
rank.
coup. Yeah, I've lost rank or PP on all of them, and it's always been like my plays have always gotten nerfed relative to everyone else's.
So on the, I'm going back to the point of you hitting F2 on the 7-star difficulty category. Uh, I assume that you just wait. Let me get my thoughts straight. How to phrase this? How to order this? So in the past you have said that going back to fundamentals helps, and I think that if you only press F2 on 7 stars, you don't go back to, let's say, 5-star stream maps or like 4-star stream maps even. Do
Yeah.
Is there anything more that you can say on going back to fundamentals helps, or do you want to explain anything about it?
Well, it's a very overlooked part of play. Like going back to fundamentals, like, you might not realize you've lost certain skills that you had. Like even going down in stars, you might find that you're not so good at the lower ARs down there. But it how do I even explain it? It's just you don't some people just don't get enough experience at lower stars and they go up quickly. Like if you say you specify and you get up to 6 stars in DT jump maps, that doesn't mean you can do 6-star string maps. And you can like lose where your practice actually starts. And like not actually get anywhere by doing those 6-star stream maps.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people say, including Bubbleman and I think also Digital Hypno, say that you should focus on fundamentals first when you go up in star rating. Do you think this is true, or do you think that like pushing star rating and then coming back to redoing the fundamentals is also a thing that works? Or do you think like when you have a new player, would you recommend them to start with fundamentals, or would you say to them that they can focus on fundamentals when they want to, but they don't have to do it initially if they don't feel like it?
I don't think there's any like forced thing telling you to start training fundamentals, especially if you're a noob. You should probably just be having fun. Whatever you have fun with is whatever. Like this game doesn't have to be competitive to everyone. Um, so I would say figure out what you want out of the game first, and then work towards that. And you can probably go back to fundamentals at any point.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the answer. That that matches up with with what I've experienced in the game, since I don't know
Mm.
whether you know how I play, but I mostly play for passes, and some people might think I'm shit at lower star ratings, but I've been going back to it and fixing up some of the fundamentals, and I'm improving pretty quickly at them. So
Honestly, bro, I saw that one miss on Bang Bang. That
that's
was
such a
fucking
stupid score.
crazy.
I I woke up the next morning and thought I dreamed that. That didn't look real to
Like,
me.
Damn, son.
there is a very small list of people who can do that.
Have you even seen where I missed on the map? It was
No, but I know the area.
some random ass pattern after the second diff spike. I full comboed all of the 3 diff spikes. This goes unreal to
Shit.
me. But yeah,
I mean, yeah. I've definitely also found improvement to be had just going back in star rating and then coming back up, and you'll be more comfortable. Not only that, but you don't FC much if you play stuff that's really hard for you,
yeah,
and it will feel quite nice to just FC a little bit of like maps and come back, even if you're not practicing fundamentals. Like, it's a good mental break. It's good for your practice in general. It's 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 a good idea to do.
yeah. I was just asking because I think a lot of parts of the Aussie communities really tell not younger players, but like players that are new to the game that they should start with fundamentals. But I think it's fresh and a view that we don't get much often, that going back to fundamentals is something that that you can still do later down the line. That's something that's not really forced upon you at the
Yeah,
beginning.
there's no time limit. It's just you depending on where you want to get to, you may or may not have to do that to get past a skill barrier.
Yeah, okay. I kind of lost where we were at on the on the questions.
Right where you are actually. But we can
Right
like
behind
move on
you.
to tournaments as our
Oh wait,
like
shouldn't I think it's a small section about mouse drift. Do you think mouse drift exists? Is mouse drift an issue for you? People ask this a lot this way. That's why I wanted to ask. After that, we can
As
go
with
to
many,
Tony's.
yeah, as with many people, it's well, not as with many people, but it's quite dependent on your DPI. I use a very low DPI for mouse, so in the past it has given me a few misses, but you get used to resetting it, and you even get used to negating it. So I will say it's a negative about using mouse for sure, um, but it isn't an entire skill. Like,
I,
you'll get used to resetting mouse drift with any game. So
I know Mr. Josh, the funny mouse expert man, said that like most mouse drift is user error, where like when you move your mouse, you're not keeping your mouse perfectly straight and parallel with like the edges of your table. You're like angling your wrist to move your mouse from side to side, and that can contribute to you causing mouse drift. So the straighter you keep your mouse as you're moving your mouse, the less you mouse drift. But
quite recently, I tried. I did realize that myself somehow, and I tried doing it, and it I seem to have incorporated it a bit, and I don't reset my aim nearly as much, which is useful, but it isn't a game changer.
I remember personally having like such a struggle with mouse drift, and it's kind of gone by the wayside as time's gone on, I think, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, if you can see the stream, there's this
Oh,
nice visualization Fun Orange made, and if you focus on not rotating your mouse, mouse drift basically doesn't exist. But also you can rotate your mouse in the other direction when you know how much you drifted. So I think that's what you're talking about by you can you learn to deal with this by how you move your mouse, but it shouldn't be when you miss in a map, it's probably not due to mouse drift. There's just people being mad at things they suck at, I think, personally.
oh yeah. You shouldn't really. You can't blame it on mouse drift. Um,
But also saying it doesn't
it's like blaming it
exist
on being
is
bad at
not
jumps.
really. Yeah. Okay. About tourneys. Since you've
Yeah,
played
as our
a fair ton of.
glorious Our glorious Mouse City Scramble champion.
Where is it? I won Mouse City Scramble. Let's go!
Yeah.
Incredible.
When's the next week coming out? I wonder too.
So, how do you approach tournaments in general? With like, what's your attitude towards tournaments?
Dependent on whether it's like a team tournament, like almost every tournament I've ever gone into, I've tried to be the most competitive I could be. If I'm in one tournament, it's going to take up most of my thoughts about Osu at any one point. So yeah, like always pretty competitive. I'm not doing it
Do
to
you have
for fun per se.
sorry. Do you have like a specific method you use to practice map pools?
Changed that up quite a lot over time as well. Previously, I practiced it throughout the week, but recently, or for MCS 2024, I started practicing like just really hard on the days before, and then sometimes even giving myself a day in between to let my arm like rest, and a lot on the day as well. Like at least one run through every map.
Do nerves become a issue at any point for you?
I don't think I've ever been more nervous than whenever I play tournament matches.
Do you handle it well?
The
Like, how do you handle them?
it feels weird to say it, but usually no. I don't know if maybe I got better at it through MCS 2024, but previously my mental has been completely horrible. Like if I get on a bad streak, I continue it and never come back from it, and my mental's just shot.
Incredible.
It's yeah.
Does your so like how confident were you going into the most recent tournament in like Mouse City Scramble?
Oh, the fact that I didn't get number one seed, I was like, maybe I'll get like top three. I'm pretty sure I could get top three. And some of the players were quite hard to beat, but like I was practicing the pools, and I instead of doing my usual 7 stars, I was doing 6 stars throughout the entirety of the pool because that's more what I was playing. Confidence wise, I didn't think I would win, realistically.
Were there any
But
individual matches that you thought you were going to lose?
let's see the challenge. I don't know
Actually,
if
let
you
me
could
pull
bring
that
it
up.
up on the stream.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah,
Was
I'll
about
just
to do
look at it
that.
on the stream.
Challenge Mouse City Scramble 24.
I knew I went against OE4, I'm almost certain. And that was like
Oh
the
god.
first match
Sneeze
I
an ad
was
blocker.
somewhat nervous on.
Oh god. All the ads, no. I
Oh
installed
no!
I installed fresh Google Chromium so and Google Chromium so I don't have to pull up my browser and have
Oh yeah.
might have something weird pop up for some weird reason. This is
Oh
horrible.
yeah, I mean, I already started with a buy, so I only had to
Oh
fight
god.
Cabbage on the first map.
Let's see. Where did you even start on this list? Oh, you started on the second bracket because you were such. Yeah.
Alright, I'm behind, that's why.
Here.
Um,
Sharpest. Kinda destroyed. Moose pie. Might have been a bit scary, I think.
yeah, Moose Pie was really scary, knowing like I saw how many points Moose Pie got on me, and I was like, ooh, Spread Nuts is gonna be quite hard. Then I saw Tony beat Spread Nuts, and I was like, what the fuck? What's going on? This is not how the bracket should have gone. Going to tiebreaker against Tony was definitely probably the most nervous I've ever been. In my probably in my fucking
Oh
life.
yeah, I think I saw that. That was insane. That was
I
such
quite
a
literally
such a
was
close
just
match.
I was just shaking the entire fucking time.
So at no point were
Like
you like
rating was all
confident
shot.
that like this is easy shit, amateurs get bent.
I was confident I could win every match at minimum 40% of the time. Um, I never thought I didn't. I had no idea what Spread Nuts' what how should I say
Form?
form. Yeah, I didn't know what his form was like, and honestly, Tony gave more of a fight than I thought he would this year. Yeah, like he did fourth seed, so I was like pretty surprised by that. Beating Spread Nuts. Um, so past OE4, it was always a little bit nervous. I did. Actually, I think I know what the one of the next questions are going to be, so I won't say that. But
You can say it. We'll just skip the question. Easy.
easy. I do quite a lot of um research on my opponents, like all their previous matches throughout the tournament and like their qualifier scores, their match scores, um, what they like to ban, what I should ban. I think about that quite a bit.
So you like have a strategy going into the picks and bans.
Yeah, in every match past, actually even in OE4's match, I like in general I knew about his playstyle being quite hidden based, so I just knew to ban those and not pick into them.
I see.
But yeah, I strategize quite a bit.
So you plan out picks or pay attention to what maps you should put extra like care into
Practice
when
into, yeah.
when practicing them.
Yeah, the further into the tournament I go, the more I
Yeah,
practice and strategize.
obviously, if you're gonna play against me, you're not gonna practice the pool.
Um, yeah, probably not. But
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's not a dig. It's just there's no need.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not that stressed.
I wasn't practicing all of my matches either. Although I'm like, I have like half of your PP, and also the skill difference is like huge. Makes
That
sense though. You don't need to practice for a match that you will likely win anyway.
there is sometimes times where you do need to practice, or I do need to practice, and that's when the pool star rating is much more in line with the other person's skill than mine. So I will need to like get used to 5 stars again and their general flow.
Oh yeah. So when the star rating is so low that the other person might just full combo everything, you don't want to go into it sight reading. Especially
Yeah,
if you get hit by some gimmicky pick or by some hidden.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you like enjoy playing tournaments? Like do you actively seek out more tournaments or do you just
Or do you only like it for the competitive reason?
Well, I enjoy being in tournaments, but when I lose in tournaments, it feels like shit. I'm not gonna lie. I like the idea of playing tournaments and winning, but until I can kind of guarantee my skills are good enough to, I, just, I don't know where I'm going with that. I do them for enjoyment. I don't do them for like money or like to be better than someone.
incredible?
I think that was it for tournaments. We have a couple more questions regarding mostly mouse-only community stuff that we would like to have your opinion on.
This might
But
have been better more towards the beginning for future for future interviews because it's more lighthearted things that are
yeah,
Just sprinkle them
I
in,
think the last two
probably.
questions of them are really interesting to have at the end, I think. But the other three questions, I can lift them up. Yeah. The first question is regarding the scores and plays you set. What are some of your favorite or coolest plays that you have set in this game?
Oh, my favorite scores. Oh yeah.
pull up his profile.
My
Circle guard
songs
him.
comp choke is definitely up there.
What
I saw you
choke?
just went past Seashore on the songs comp. That was
Oh.
probably the closest I've ever gotten to having a 700. Yeah, it was like at the peak of my streams skills. So that is like it's definitely something that other stream players would very much struggle to do if
It's
they
quite a
could at all.
powerful score.
Yeah. 150.
I quite I saw you pull up the Seashore on the Moon score. That is
It's just
a
pinned
it's a pretty cool score.
in top 50.
Oh, surely there's something else that I really like the score of.
Your banana shrine top 50.
What?
Some BS
Banana
map.
Shrine.
Banana
I don't even
shrine.
know if I'm top 50 in it anymore. I don't think I am.
Oh,
But
this?
yeah.
Yeah, that one.
No. Oh, Shadow of the Dark beat you by it. You're not top 50 anymore, sadly.
Oh
Shadow
no,
of Dark,
gotta get back
damn.
on the grind.
The grind set.
Oh, I've heard that song before. I don't know whether I've played the map, but I've seen that. I've seen that map.
I mean, it's just a 8-star shitpost, honestly.
I mean,
It's loved
my
though.
Galaxy Collapse pass definitely has to be up there, I suppose.
Oh,
Sound Chimera, that one was pretty good.
Pass or play? Play probably, right? Probably not in your top 100.
Pass or play on what?
Sound Chimera?
Sound Chimera, whether you passed it or like A ranked it.
Oh,
or like a good B rank.
Sound
Oh
Chimera, and I passed Galaxy Collapse as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a 6 score actually.
Yeah. The Levant Polka, I have like the best easy flashlight hidden. Easy flashlight DT. I think it is, and I don't know where it came from. I don't know when I practiced it.
You just woke up one day and felt like playing Jan To's mod combination.
Yeah, that's just a cool little score. I do quite like some of my 3 mod scores, considering how early they were.
3 years ago on Haramachi.
Yeah, that was quite ahead of its time for 3 mod. There must be something else that I just really like, but
yeah,
I'll say it if I remember it.
You don't seem to keep track of your favorite scores really. It's something that you just.
I do a lot of quantity over quality, I'd say.
Yeah, makes sense. Another question we had, or that we want to ask, is in the mouse-only community overall, what are some of your favorite scores? Maybe some of the scores that inspired you the most?
Oh, my favorite scores. I, for the longest time, could not fathom how the hell Riviclia passed the Lost Dedicated.
I still can't. That is such an old
hard.
play.
I mean, he passed the top diff of Galaxy Collapse, for fuck's sake. Like, how long ago? Like 9 years ago at this point, probably?
Yeah. I mean,
Imagine
it was
being that
nerfed at that time. It wasn't the buffed version,
Yeah,
but it's still stupid, even with HP
it's, it's
2.5.
yeah, it's like only 1 HP lower or something. It's so crazy for the time. I don't think, I literally don't think anyone could do that right now, unless they put in a good few hundred attempts. Like
Don't you think
maybe,
Nerdov could maybe do it? Because I think most of the people just
um,
have trouble with the streams. Maybe also the jump aim, but we definitely have some players
His
that can do the jumps for
he's
Galaxy
been
Collapse.
getting a lot better, but I don't think his aim is at the level to pass the stupid streams in that map.
there's a funny, there's a, well, I mean, the HP on that map the nerfed HP helps a lot with the streams, but for mouse only, there's a very overlooked kind of playstyle within that. It's to quarter tap with your left hand doing the left mouse button and your right hand doing the right.
I
And
think it's
like
actually
it basically got,
reversed, and you like cross them over.
oh, that's just how I do it. But with that, I can pretty consistently pass that pattern. So if I wanted to, I can get past that, but I die on the jumps, funny enough, because those stars at the end. I mean, that's just not doable right now. But uh, let's see. Other than that, oh, really cool scores.
I mean, if nothing really
Oh,
comes to mind, not too bad. There are like surely some scores that you probably saw and went like, oh my god, how did they do that? That's not
Nerdoff.
real.
Nerdoff has a really cool score on Del Rio and Jashin.
Oh, the Jashin score, I love that. Also, the score
Yeah,
on Yomi Rori, but the Kita one.
yeah. He does some pretty entertaining passes that
Yeah,
um
this
he's
one,
basically the Reviclio of speed right now.
I think
Like he's
it's
very
this
ahead of
one.
his time.
This might be this. Oh no, it's a different Yomiuri. That's still such a stupid score. How do you even A rank this mouse
Mm,
only? And that's pretty good accuracy as well. And probably not even an accuracy where he wants to see himself. Or like this.
yeah, I
How do you
mean
79 freedom dive? The old freedom dive on mouse only.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
We'll get there one day, but
we'll get there
yeah,
one day. Yeah,
Nerdov has a lot of good stream passes.
I think Nerdov and Reviclia is probably the two people we will hear the most when we ask that for crazy scores.
Mm,
Oh, you A ranked both Yomiuris. That's cool. Both are insane.
Incredible.
yeah.
Lot of. What's this?
Yeah, the Dokitos one is even more insane than the other Yamhiri.
Oh, there. I'm blind. Both of these are here. What's this map?
What the fuck is the gap between SpongeBob and 1 and 2?
What?
Right below
The gap between
LTG, it
SpongeBob
says
1 and 2 is
some.
slightly bigger than
Sa-
3. This gap is actually slightly bigger than these two.
Oh,
Oh no.
that's what he's talking about.
Oh, what the fuck? When the hell?
Oh, it's cursed.
What?
That's super cursed.
Oh
That's
my god.
incredible.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, it's hard
just.
for me. It's harder to pick favorite plays than it is players. And Nerdov and
Yeah,
Reviclia.
then we're gonna
But
gonna go on to our next question. What are your
oh,
favorite mouse only players?
oh shit. Um. Well, funny enough, a lot of them are my friends, so it's like it's hard to say. Skill wise, spread nuts. Okay, actually, I shouldn't say stuff like that because I have some very like you know um history with calling Tony 2 out for cheating and shit. But coolest players, Nerdoff, Viclia, Doorknob, for stuff that not many other people can do. There's Spread Nuts as well for being like almost a 3-time Mouse City Scramble winner. I'm only at 1, so I'm still not even like got to do that fucking twice to do what he did, which is crazy. And Senji and Solar Eclipse for being really crazy at streams before many others.
What do you think of the Suzuxu, what's it called? Chipscape, easy halftime FC.
Oh wait, that happened?
He doesn't know.
It's a pretty damn good score, like
On
on levels of easy plays.
Oh, this one. Bro, that's messed up.
The level of dedication.
What was it? Easy.
If you add hidden to it, it's
hidden?
literally impossible. There are like 2 people that can do this with hidden, or like 3. It's actually insane.
What did Suzuxu do on this?
Easy halftime chipscape play.
What version of Chipscape is it? Is it the OG one? The
What the hell?
Yes.
Danio's there.
Huh?
What's Danio doing here?
What's the dog doing?
Do I even have a pass with this mod combo? I have. Yeah, Daniel's
There
on
are,
here.
like, I mean, yeah.
But look, I'm not even streaming that.
There's a
part.
lot
If you-
of really.
As
cool
soon as
players.
you add hidden, it's like a billion times harder.
Reviclia fucking did it. What?
Yeah, 4 years ago. That's crazy.
What the fuck?
I actually-
Moose Pie?
What?
What's Moose Pie doing here?
I don't have. Oh, I have most
And then
added.
Suzuxu. Holy shit, we almost got all the mouse onlys.
Yeah. I need to get on here. I can't read this map with this mod combo. I really can't. And and my reading is pretty good, I would say. But not good enough, I guess. I honestly thought only Eri was able to do this and one other player. But apparently there's some more. Although I'm pretty certain that some of these probably just half memorized it. Pretty sure that GN just memorized it. And he couldn't even get the FC. He got an FC without halftime. But this is actually less impressive on it.
He has an
map.
easy hidden FC.
Yeah. But I think this is less impressive reading wise. It's more impressive performance wise.
Back to the shower piss.
Yeah, getting a bit sidetracked. You were saying some of your favorite names. I think something funny about that when we did the voting for favorite mouse or best mouse only player last year, Daniel sent a funny response. He basically split the names into categories. So he said Seizoxu crazy at blank because he's just crazy. A Doorknob crazy at tag. Me crazy at medals. Nodov crazy at speed. Kimei crazy at jumps. And I think you just saying Nodov and Reviclia makes a lot of sense because these are definitely their goats in their respective skill sets.
Yeah. I don't think that there's anyone really as well-rounded as me right now, as seen by the MCS win. But like, I don't think there's only been Spread Nuts realistically that has been good at so many skill sets at the same time.
Yeah, Doorknob is rising, rising to be that.
Yeah,
but
Doorknob
it's gonna take some more time. But yeah, oh, we have 2 more questions actually. 2 more questions that are a bit funny. First one, I hope Nerdov is still watching this. Do you think Nerdov will be able to death stream 300 BPM? in the future?
If he can, then the world will turn into a fucking black hole. But Death Stream 300 BPM, sure, why not? If people can do it on a keyboard, they can probably do the same thing on a mouse.
Setting that Snow Goose 2000 pp.
That's
Free
fucking
mod.
cool, chat.
I mean, Death Stream and like doing funny 300 BPMs farm maps, like the 10 things I know Sukuma, Leah Kate thing.
Yeah.
Nodoff's very close to FCing the 8.6 star of that. He got like a 3 miss the other day, and that's 306 BPM. So, like, we're very close to being able to farm it, but if, say, Nodoff practices another or almost 2 years where he only practices to get higher BPM death streams, then maybe he can do that.
Nadav just said, if I could dev stream 300, I'd get PP record. Not just mouse only PP record.
I mean, there's people
Accurate.
in tablet that can do that literally right now, so
Yeah. Oh, I just realized Nadav said
it's
yes
hard to beat.
to the interviews as well, so I can ask him that in person too next week.
Hell yeah.
And the last question we got is, or do you want to like add anything to that? Wasn't gonna cut you off.
I think it's it's possible. Feasible is very difficult.
Okay, then the last question we have: do you think anyone will pass Kimei in this year, in 2024, or will they stay at the top for some time being?
Well, it's very doable. I'll say that. I don't think we're anywhere near the top of what Mouse Only can get as a rank. At the moment or whatever. It's just someone already at the top has to go into a very farmy skill set. Like, the only real contenders right now would be me, Tony, and Spreadnuts. And
Spreadnuts is
for
focused on
me,
tourneys,
it'd
and
be
you're not farming at the moment.
yeah, I'd have to like go into 3 mod or get better at streams, and Tony would. I mean, he just doesn't farm that much right now, so nobody seems interested, but we could all do it. I have faith in that every single one of us has the possibility, and no doubt Kamei could put up a pretty good fight. And honestly, someone might have to do it very soon because now soon rate change will be ranked in
Oh yeah.
laser, and Kamei has been getting like 800 so
Grinding rate change. Do you think
yeah, we're in trouble.
the upcoming, I think it's, I believe it's going through the combo scaling removal rework. Do you think it would aid Kimei stay at the top, or like help somebody else climb and overtake
Well,
them?
it's going to help everyone be happier in general because it's just a much better way. But with PP reworks, as I was talking about earlier, even that basically nerfs me. Like Tony gains some like either 70 or 200 PP, and I gain 10. As with Kamei as well, gains like at least 100, I think. So,
PP inflation is real.
Yeah. my number
they're
of
giving PP out.
my number of 300s will double with the rework. But I don't farm, that's a different topic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Soon. I mean, yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for answering all of our questions. And thank you for being here and taking your time. I think the next interview is gonna be in half an hour. Is Kimei awake, or are we doing the Young Venus interview? I don't even know what's been planned.
If anyone's not awake, I'm perfectly okay with taking a break.
Yeah, it takes quite a while. There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, okay. Solar's interview is gonna also be in 1.5 hours, I believe, was planned. Who was gonna do the Solar interview? I think that was Kimei. um, I'm not sure, but we'll figure that out for all of the one person watching the stream right now. Yeah, but I'm gonna take the spot and keep
Probably me.
this.
Oh,
Oh, also,
that's actually depression.
Oh
There's
wait, I have it muted.
there's only you. I'm looking in the community tab. It's only you, nerd off.
Oh
Me
no.
and Creamy.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Well, yeah, that's just the mouse only community. I think
should
some
have
of
had it
the
on 1% this entire time.
some of the people from Osakai stopped by for a moment but didn't type anything. But that's fine.
Yeah.
We now have a lot of insight that we can use for the FAQ video. That's gonna be so much work. But yeah. Mouse only FAQ interviews. What did you change about the title?
Nothing. Anyway, seems good. GG.
Yeah. Where's the
Go.
button to stop the
Alright.
stream? Goodbye
Go
everyone.
poke nerd off.
Goodbye, Nerd off.